There's a conversation happening right now in every major boardroom, and it's about to change everything. A tidal wave is heading for the American workforce. It's not a recession, not in the traditional sense, but a technological revolution. Its name is artificial intelligence. We've all seen the massive headlines about AI's global economic impact, with firms like PwC predicting it could add over $15 trillion to the global economy by 2030. A huge slice of that, hundreds of billions of dollars, is set to completely reshape the American job market. While this will create staggering wealth and opportunity, it's also going to make entire career paths obsolete. We are talking about a fundamental restructuring of work, and it's happening faster than anything we've ever seen before. This isn't a sci-fi movie or some far-off prediction. It's happening right now. Major companies are already restructuring. We hear CEOs talking about needing to do more with less by deploying AI. But here's the critical part. This isn't just a story about job loss. The World Economic Forum projects that while millions of jobs will be displaced, millions more will be created. These new roles are highly skilled, they command massive salaries, and they are on the front lines of this economic transformation. Are you ready for it? In this video, we're going to cut through the noise. We're not here to sell fear. We're here to give you a roadmap. First, we'll break down the 5 jobs that are set to either vanish or be changed forever. Then, we will reveal the 7 high-paying AI careers you should be looking at right now to build a secure future. Your career is your financial security and a huge part of your identity. Sticking your head in the sand is not an option. The time to understand this shift hand to act is now. Let's start with the hard numbers because they paint a start. Picture a report from Goldman Sachs estimates that generative AI could impact the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs across the globe, in the United States and Europe. That same report says roughly 2/3 of all current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation. Let that sink in for a moment. That doesn't mean 2/3 of people will be fired tomorrow, but it does mean that the tasks they do every single day are on the verge of being handed over to an algorithm. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report backs this up, predicting a massive labor transformation, and this isn't a threat that's only coming for factory workers. Like past waves of automation, today's AI revolution is aimed squarely at knowledge workers. It's coming for the jobs that were once considered safe, the ones that required a college degree, the white-collar professions that have been the backbone of the American middle class. This is creating what some are calling a white-collar bloodbath. It's a dramatic phrase, but for anyone in the crosshairs, it feels undeniably real. So, the problem is clear. The wave is building. The only question is, will you get swept away by it, or are you going to learn to ride it to get ready for the future? You have to understand what's being left behind. Some jobs won't just vanish overnight, but they're being hollowed out, with AI taking over the routine tasks that once justified a human salary. Let's break down the 5 careers facing the biggest disruption. For decades, administrative assistants have been the glue that holds an office together. They schedule meetings, manage emails, book travel, and organize documents. But look at that list again. Nearly every single one of those tasks can now be automated with incredible efficiency. AI tools from Microsoft and Google can scan your calendar, understand your preferences, find a time that works for a dozen people in different time zones, and book a meeting in seconds. They can draft email replies, sort your files by topic, and generate summaries of long reports. The simple truth is that companies are realizing they don't need as many people for these jobs anymore. One person, armed with AI assistants, can now do the work of a whole team. The role isn't just being automated, it's being absorbed into the software we all use, making a dedicated person for these tasks feel more and more like a luxury. Think about the last time you dealt with a chatbot. Chances are, the experience was a lot better than it was a few years ago. That's because the technology behind them has gotten incredibly good. AI can now understand complex customer problems, pull up a person's history, walk through detailed solutions, and escalate to a human when it gets stuck, all without needing a lunch break. While some early predictions that 95% of all customer service would be handled by AI by 2025 were a bit optimistic, the trend is undeniable. Newer Gartner forecasts suggest that by 2026, AI in call centers could cut labor costs by a staggering $80 billion. This doesn't mean every customer service job is toast. We'll still need people for the really complicated, emotional issues, but the front line, entry-level jobs answering the same questions over and over, are quickly being taken over by AI. The call center of the future is going to be smaller, more specialized, and focused on handling the exceptions, not the rules. The slow disappearance of the bank teller has been happening for years. Thanks to ATMs and online banking, AI is just speeding it up. Mobile banking apps and fintech platforms have automated almost every routine transaction, from depositing a check to applying for a simple loan, and it's not just the tellers. Jobs like bookkeeping and basic accounting are also at huge risk. AI software can now link directly to business bank accounts, categorize expenses, create financial reports, and even spot potential fraud with an accuracy that's hard for a human to beat. Why pay a bookkeeper to manually enter receipts when an AI can scan, categorize, and log them in an instant? The big financial firms know this. They expect to replace tens of thousands of roles with AI in the coming years. The job of a finance professional is changing from data entry to strategic analysis and advising clients, skills that demand a whole new level of expertise. This is the classic story of automation, but AI has added a new chapter. For years, factory. Robots did simple, repetitive things. Now, high-powered robots with computer vision can handle complex assembly, spot quality-control defects a human eye might miss, and adapt to changes on the production line in real time. A robot can now see a tiny scratch on a product. It can learn a new task just by watching a human do it. It's no surprise that Oxford Economics predicts up to 20 million manufacturing jobs could be replaced by robots around the world by 2030. Companies are pouring billions into smart factories, where AI systems manage everything from the supply chain to the final inspection. This makes things more efficient and cuts down on errors. But it also dramatically shrinks the need for human workers on the factory floor. The jobs left will be for the people who design, maintain, and manage these robot systems, not the ones working on the line next to them. This might be the single most vulnerable job out there. The whole point of a data entry clerk is to move information from one place to another. This is exactly the kind of repetitive, rule-based work that AI was designed to do. Modern AI can read text from a scanned document, understand what it means, and then input that information into a different system without making a single mistake. 24 hours a day. The World Economic Forum has forecasted that millions of data entry jobs will be lost globally in the next few years. There's just no business case for hiring a person to do a job that software can do faster, cheaper, and with fewer errors. It's a harsh reality, but it's one we have to face. Okay. That's a pretty sobering look at the job market. If your career is on that list, it's easy to feel a little panicked. But here's the most important thing to remember. Every big technological shift in history has been a story of destruction and creation. The fall of the horse and buggy driver led to the rise of the auto mechanic. The end of the switchboard operator paved the way for the network engineer. This time is no different. The AI revolution isn't just taking jobs, it's creating entirely new kinds of work. These aren't just slightly different versions of old jobs, they are new, high-impact, and incredibly well-paid roles that didn't even exist a decade ago. So what can you do, and what do these new jobs actually look like? Before we get into the 7 high-paying AI careers of the future, if you're finding this breakdown useful, take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Our goal here is to give you the knowledge you need to navigate what's next, and by subscribing, you won't miss out. Alright, let's shift from the problem to the solution. This isn't about doom and gloom, it's about opportunity. The same technology that's displacing jobs is creating a huge demand for people with specific AI skills, and companies are paying top dollar for them. Let's look at 7 roles that are shaping the future. Data is the food that AI eats, and AI can't learn anything without massive, clean, well-organized data sets. The AI data scientist is the person who finds, cleans, and analyzes that data to pull out the insights needed to train a machine learning model. They're like digital detectives hunting through mountains of information for patterns and trends no human could ever find. They ask the big questions. Is this data biased? Is it telling us the right story? What parts of this data will help us make the most accurate predictions? This job requires strong skills in statistics, programming languages, like Python, and a deep understanding of data, since every AI system is only as good as its data. These pros are essential. Average salary. You can expect an average salary of around $122,000, with top professionals earning much more. If a data scientist provides the fuel, the AI architect designs the engine. An AI architect is a high-level designer who creates the master plan for a company's entire AI infrastructure. They don't just build one model. They figure out how multiple AI models, data pipelines, and apps will all work together smoothly. They have to answer the big picture questions. Should we build our AI in the cloud or on our own servers? Which tools and frameworks should we use? How do we make sure the system is secure and can handle massive amounts of data? This isn't just about coding. It's a strategic role for people who understand software engineering, cloud computing, and machine learning. They are the master planners of the AI world. Average salary. The average salary for an AI architect is around $148,000, but can range much higher. This is one of the most famous and in-demand jobs in AI. Machine learning ML engineers are the master builders. They take the models from data scientists and the plans from architects and turn them into real-world products that you and I actually use. They write the code that brings AI to life. They build the recommendation engine on Netflix, the fraud detection system in a bank, and the language translation feature on your phone. This is a very technical job that requires expert-level programming skills, especially in Python, a deep knowledge of frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch, and the ability to keep these models running smoothly. Average salary. The average base salary for an ML engineer is around $158,000, but it can climb much higher with experience. As AI gets more powerful, it also gets riskier. Questions about bias, privacy, and fairness are no longer just for classrooms. They are urgent problems for businesses and governments. An AI policy analyst works at the crossroads of technology, law, and ethics. They figure out how AI systems might harm society and help create the rules to manage those risks. They might work on policies for the ethical use of facial recognition, new laws for self-driving cars, or rules to make sure AI hiring tools aren't discriminating against people. This job doesn't always require you to be a master coder, but it does demand strong analytical skills and the ability to explain complex ideas clearly. Average salary. Salaries can range from $100,000 to over $140,000. Because experts who can bridge the gap between tech and policy are very rare and very valuable. Much like a policy analyst, an AI ethics consultant works directly with companies to make sure their AI is responsible and trustworthy. They are like internal watchdogs and strategic advisors. They might run an ethical audit on an AI system to find hidden biases, create a rulebook to make sure the company is following the law, and train employees on how to use AI responsibly. We hear more and more stories about AI causing real harm, from biased loan applications to flawed medical advice. The demand for these experts is exploding. Companies are figuring out that an ethical disaster can be just as costly as a data breach. This is a job for critical thinkers who can connect the world of technology with our human values. Average salary. Experienced consultants can command salaries between $150,000 and $185,000. While a machine learning engineer often focuses on specific models, an AI engineer has a wider job. They build the whole system needed to develop, train, and roll out AI solutions across an entire company. They are the ones who integrate AI tools into existing business software and build the platforms that everyone else uses. This job is a mix of software development, data engineering, and machine learning. They're the jack of all trades of the AI world, with the skills to handle everything from the data plumbing to the final product. Because their skills are so versatile and so critical, they are some of the highest paid people in tech. Average salary. The total pay for an AI engineer can reach an average of $110,000. When you include base salary and bonuses. At the very top of the AI career ladder, you'll find the AI product manager. Think of this person as the CEO of an AI product. They don't just build the tech, they define the vision, the strategy, and the business plan for it. They are the essential link between the tech team, the company executives, and the customers. An AI product manager has to understand the technology well enough to have a real conversation with engineers, but they also have to understand the market, the customers, and the company's financial goals. They decide what to build, why it's important, and how to make it a success. While it's an extreme outlier, some job listings for this role at top tech companies have gone as high as $900,000, which shows just how much value is placed on people who can lead major AI projects successfully. Average salary. While the average is around $159,000, senior roles at leading tech companies can command salaries deep into the six figures. Seeing those salaries can be both exciting and a little intimidating. You might be thinking, that's great, but I'm an administrative assistant, not a programmer. How do I even start to make a leap like that? This is the most important part. A career change this big doesn't happen by accident. It takes a smart, deliberate plan. Here's a 5-step framework you can start using today. First, stop thinking about what you can't do. Start taking stock of what you can do. You have more useful skills than you realize. Are you a project manager? You already know how to handle timelines, resources, and stakeholders. That's a core part of AI product management. Are you a paralegal? You have amazing research skills and an eye for detail, which are vital for an AI policy analyst. A lot of these high-paying AI jobs aren't just about tech. Roles in AI ethics, policy, and product management need people who are great communicators, critical thinkers, and problem solvers. Make a list of your top 5 professional skills, and then look back at the jobs we just covered. Draw lines connecting what you do now to what your target role requires. This changes the journey from starting from zero to building on my foundation. Once you know your target role and your skill gaps, it's time to learn. You don't necessarily have to go back to a university for 4 years. The world of online education has made this easier than ever. For technical roles, AI engineer, ML engineer. Start with the basics. Python is the main language of AI, so that's your first step. Sites like Coursera, edX, and Udacity have specialized programs that package together courses on Python, machine learning, and important tools like TensorFlow. For non-technical roles, AI ethics, policy analyst, focus on specialized knowledge. Look for certifications in AI governance or digital law. Read everything you can from think tanks and research groups that publish reports on AI policy. Your goal is to become an expert in the subject. The key is targeted learning. Don't just learn to code. Learn the specific skills you need for the job you want. A certificate is nice, but proof that you can do the work is much better. You have to create a portfolio that shows off your new skills to employers. This is not optional. If you're learning to code, make a GitHub account and start building projects. It doesn't have to be a world-changing invention. Analyze a public dataset, build a simple prediction model, or create a small app that uses an AI tool. This shows you can actually apply what you've learned. If you're aiming for a policy or ethics job, start a blog or write articles on LinkedIn or Medium. Analyze a recent AI controversy, explain a new law, or propose your own ethical rules for an AI system. This shows you are a serious thinker who can communicate big ideas. Your portfolio is your new resume. It's real proof you can do the job. You can't do this alone. You need to connect with people who are already in the field. Join AI-focused groups on LinkedIn. Go to virtual industry conferences and webinars. Don't just listen, ask smart questions. And join the conversation. Find people who have the job you want and ask them for a 15-minute chat. Ask about their journey, what skills matter most, and what advice they have. A good mentor can give you guidance, help you avoid mistakes, and maybe even open a door for you later on. You probably won't jump from data entry clerk to senior AI architect in one move. You need to look for stepping stone jobs, entry level. Roles like data analyst or AI operations analyst are a great way to get your foot in the door. Once you're inside a company, you'll get priceless real-world experience. You'll be around experts and have the chance to work on bigger projects from there. You can specialize and start climbing. We've seen this happen. A former customer service agent got curious about how chatbots were made. He took online courses, started helping the chatbot team with small projects, and eventually became a full-time conversation designer, doubling his salary in less than 2 years. It all started with curiosity and a single step. We are living through one of the biggest economic shifts in human history. The rise of artificial intelligence isn't some future event. We can debate it as a present reality we have to navigate. Yes, this wave of change is getting rid of and reshaping jobs that have been around for generations. We've seen how roles in administration, customer service, and data entry are facing extinction. But we have also seen the incredible new world of opportunity that is rising from the ashes. High-paying, high-impact careers in fields like AI engineering, machine learning, and AI ethics aren't just being created. Companies are desperate to find talent and people to fill them, ultimately. The choice is yours. You can watch from the sidelines and hope the wave passes you by, or you can decide to be an active participant. You can be proactive, assess your skills, commit to learning, and start building a bridge to your future. The path isn't easy, but it is clear. By embracing this change, you can do more than just survive the age of AI. You can be one of the people who builds it, leads it, and thrives in it. If this guide was helpful, let us know in the comments. Share what job you have now and what AI career path you're most interested in. Let's keep the conversation going and navigate the future of work together. Thanks for watching.